The story that began with a woman lost in time is finally reaching its destiny. The flames of love that once burned through centuries are now fading into the twilight of fate. Claire Fraser's voice echoes through time, calling out to Jamie, the man who was never meant to exist in her world, yet became her whole life. Now, as the final season begins, the question that has haunted every Outlander fan returns. Can love truly survive time itself? The past and future are finally colliding, and the truth that has been hidden for years is about to be revealed. The war, the sacrifices, the separations, everything has led to this one last chapter. This is not just another season. This is the end of the Outlander saga. The winds of Scotland whisper once again. The camera glides over misty highlands, just as it did in the very first season, where Claire Randall's story began. But this time, everything feels different, heavier, slower, filled with the weight of years gone by. The stones at Cray na Dun still stand silent, but they no longer promise adventure. They promise closure. Claire, who once touched those stones out of curiosity, has now lived through love, war, and loss beyond imagination. She has been a healer, a warrior, a mother, and a survivor. But the one thing she never stopped being was Jamie's wife. Time has never been kind to them. It has torn them apart more times than anyone can count, yet somehow, they always found their way back to each other. Every scar they carry tells a story of battles won, of tears shed, of nights spent wondering if they would ever meet again. Now, as the final season opens, their love is no longer just a story of passion. It is a story of destiny. Every decision they made, every life they touched, every risk they took, all of it comes full circle in Season 8. The American Revolution rages in the background. But for Claire and Jamie, the greatest war has always been against time itself. They have seen kingdoms fall, friends die, and futures rewritten. Yet even as history tries to erase them, they keep fighting. Because their love is not written in books. It's carved in the stones of time. But there's something different in the air this time. A strange silence before the storm. The final chapter feels both familiar and new, as if the story itself knows it's coming to an end. The world around them is changing faster than ever, and for the first time, even Jamie Fraser seems uncertain of what lies ahead. The strength that once defined him is shadowed by a quiet fear, the fear of losing everything once more. Claire, meanwhile, feels the pull of two worlds stronger than ever. The 20th century still calls to her. But her heart belongs to the 18th. She knows that every moment with Jamie might be their last. And so, every glance, every touch, every word between them carries the weight of goodbye. The skies darken over Fraser's Ridge. The echoes of war and time merge into one haunting sound, the sound of an ending. Claire looks to the horizon, her eyes filled with memories and hope, whispering words only the wind can hear. Somewhere, deep inside, she knows the truth. Time always takes what it gives. And as the new season begins, that truth will finally demand its price. The past is never truly gone, not for the Frasers. It lingers like a ghost in every quiet moment, haunting them with memories that refuse to fade. As Season 8 begins, Claire and Jamie stand at the crossroads of time once again. But this time, their choices will shape not only their fate but the fate of generations to come. The echoes of every decision they've ever made come rushing back. The lives saved, the lives lost, and the countless what-ifs that now hover like storm clouds over their hearts. Claire has always been the woman caught between two centuries. Her mind belongs to science and progress, yet her heart beats to the rhythm of the 18th century. Now, as she looks into the eyes of Jamie, the man she's crossed time itself for, she realizes that no knowledge, no skill, no logic can save them from destiny. The war is closing in, and history will not bend for love. It never has. Jamie, the warrior with a poet's soul, senses the world shifting beneath his feet. He has fought battles with sword and fire, but the battle he faces now is one he cannot win with strength alone. The revolution he once believed in now threatens to swallow everything he loves. The dream of freedom, the dream he risked everything for, begins to blur with the nightmare of losing his family. He looks at Claire and sees not just the woman he loves, but the fragile thread that ties his heart to hope. He knows that every sunrise could be their last together, and yet he cannot let go. He never could. In the distance, Brianna and Roger face their own battles across time. The promise of safety in the modern world has turned into a test of courage and faith. Their children carry secrets they don't yet understand, whispers of the past calling them home. Even as the future tries to claim them, the lines between centuries are breaking down, and what was once impossible now feels inevitable. Time itself seems restless, as if warning them all that something is coming, something that cannot be undone. The story grows darker here. The once bright tone of adventure fades into the haunting calm before an emotional storm. Old friends reappear, not as allies, but as reminders of what was lost along the way. Familiar places feel strange, almost hollow, as if the land itself is mourning what's about to end. Even the music of the world has changed. The wind no longer carries the melody of promise, but the song of farewell. Claire tries to find peace in her work, tending to the wounded and healing the broken. But the faces she saves begin to blend with the ones she couldn't. The guilt she has carried for years, every life she couldn't protect, starts to resurface. She remembers the pain of losing faith, the heartbreak of watching loved ones disappear through time's cruel doorway. And yet, even in her quietest moments, she refuses to break. She stands firm, her voice steady, her eyes burning with determination. Because if time is cruel, love must be stronger. Meanwhile, Jamie begins to have dreams, vivid, unsettling visions of moments yet to come. He sees flashes of fire, a woman's scream, the feeling of reaching for Claire but never touching her. These dreams follow him like shadows he cannot escape. Whether they are warnings or just echoes of fear, he doesn't know. But one thing is clear: the final chapter of their story will demand a sacrifice greater than either of them ever imagined. As night falls over Frasers Ridge, the sky burns with the colors of war, red and gold and endless gray. Claire and Jamie stand together on their porch, silent, the air heavy with unspoken words. The world they built, the love they fought for, stands on the edge of time itself. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolls, not just from the storm, but from history closing in. And though neither of them says it aloud, they both know the truth. The fight ahead will not just test their strength, it will decide whether love can truly survive beyond time. The days grow shorter now, and the light that once danced through the trees at Frasers Ridge feels colder, dimmer, almost reluctant to stay. The air hums with tension, the kind that lives in the bones before something breaks. In this uneasy calm, Jamie and Claire sense that fate is circling them once again. Every whisper in the woods, every flicker of candlelight feels like a message from the past, a reminder that time is closing in on them. Rumors spread through the colonies like wildfire. Armies march, loyalties shift, and the revolution that once promised freedom has begun to devour its own believers. Jamie, torn between his oath and his heart, realizes that he can no longer stand on the sidelines. History will not wait for him. It never does. But how do you fight a war when the enemy is both outside and within? When every choice you make risks tearing apart the world you built? Claire watches him quietly, her eyes filled with the same worry she's carried for years. The fear that loving Jamie Fraser always comes with a cost. She knows that war changes men. It steals their peace, piece by piece, until nothing remains but the memory of who they used to be. She has seen that change before, in his eyes after Culloden, in his silence during the nights they spent apart. But now, the shadows are deeper. There's something unspoken between them, a quiet understanding that this time, there may be no miracle waiting at the end. Far away, Brianna and Roger begin to uncover fragments of a story that should have been buried long ago. Letters, artifacts, names half erased by time, all pointing to a truth that connects their lives to their parents in ways they could never imagine. Time, it seems, is not done with the Frasers. It bends, twists, and bleeds through generations, pulling them toward a destiny that refuses to be rewritten. Their children's laughter echoes faintly through both centuries, a haunting sound that bridges past and future. Back in the ridge, the night grows restless. Fires flicker on distant hills, and the scent of smoke mingles with the damp scent of earth after rain. There's talk of betrayal, of soldiers drawing nearer. Jamie prepares, as he always does, with calm resolve and quiet prayer, but even his strength feels tested. The people he leads look to him as a protector, but even legends can bleed. And in those quiet moments when no one is watching, he allows himself to wonder, is this how it ends? Not with victory, but with surrender to time. Claire refuses to give in to fear. She clings to purpose, to healing, to helping, to doing what she's always done best, saving lives in a world that seems determined to take them. Yet her hands tremble more now, not from age or exhaustion, but from the ache of knowing that some wounds cannot be mended. She feels the pull of the stones again, faint but growing, the strange hum that once tore her from her own time. But this time, it doesn't feel like an invitation. It feels like a warning. As night descends, the world seems to hold its breath. The ridge is quiet, save for the sound of wind brushing through the trees. Claire and Jamie sit together, wrapped in silence that says more than words ever could. They talk of the past, of the friends they lost, of the lives they might have had if fate had been kinder. Their hands find each other, worn but steady. In that moment, Time stops, not because it has mercy, but because love demands it. Jamie turns to her, his voice soft but certain. If it ends tomorrow, Sassenach, he says, then it ends with you beside me. That's enough. Claire smiles through tears, knowing there is nothing more to say. She has crossed centuries for this man, fought history itself to be with him. Whatever comes next, she will face it not as a healer or a traveler, but as the woman who found her heart in another time. Thunder breaks the silence. The storm has arrived. The final battle, not of armies, but of fate, has begun. The screen fades to black as lightning flashes across the ridge, illuminating the faces of the Frasers one last time. Shadows of love, ghosts of memory, the echo of vows whispered long ago, and as the wind howls through the dark, a single truth lingers in the air: every story ends, but some loves never die. Morning breaks like a fragile promise. The storm that raged through the night has left behind a silence so heavy that it feels sacred. The world looks washed clean, the trees glisten with dew, the air smells of earth and ashes, and somewhere in that stillness, the echoes of the past linger like ghosts refusing to rest. This is the dawn of the end, the moment where love, loss, and destiny collide for the final time. Jamie stands alone by the edge of the ridge, his hair brushed by the cold wind, his eyes distant. He's looking out at a world he helped shape, one that is no longer his. The revolution has torn the land apart, and the price of freedom has been written in blood. Yet, even amidst ruin, there is peace in his face, the peace of a man who has lived every moment fully, loved without hesitation, and fought for something greater than himself. He knows now that every wound, every loss, every heartbeat led him to this final sunrise. Claire steps beside him, her hands trembling slightly as she touches his arm. She feels the weight of the years in her bones, not just the years she's lived, but the centuries she's crossed. Time has taken so much from her, but standing here beside Jamie, she realizes it has also given her something no one else could ever understand: the proof that love can defy all logic, all history, and all endings. She looks at him, and for a moment, the world fades away. No war, no fear, no ticking clock, just two souls bound by something eternal. Their eyes meet, and there are no words left to say. They've said it all before, through whispers in the dark, through tears on battlefields, through years of separation and reunion. Words have become too small for what they feel, so they stand in silence, letting the wind speak for them, carrying the unspoken promise that even if time takes one of them, it will never erase what they built together. But fate is never gentle with the Frasers. In the distance, the faint rumble of drums reminds them that history waits for no one. Letters arrive bearing news from Brianna, fragments of a story unfolding in another time. She writes of dreams she can't explain, of strange visions where her parents stand together beneath a stormy sky, untouched by age or sorrow. Roger believes the barrier between times is thinning once more, as if the universe itself cannot bear to keep them apart. The stones hum again, faintly, their power stirring for one last time. As the day fades, Jamie feels a pull deep within him, not fear, but something older, something familiar. Claire feels it too. It's the same energy that once tore her from 1945, that once reunited them across centuries. But this time, it feels different, softer, final. The past and future are folding into each other, and time itself seems ready to let them go. That night, the ridge glows in the golden light of the hearth. The family gathers one last time. Laughter, tears, stories, the memories of every journey, every loss, every reunion flow together like chapters closing one by one. Claire watches Jamie as he speaks, his voice warm and steady, and she knows she will remember this moment forever. The man who once seemed like a dream has become her entire world. And that world is about to end, not in tragedy, but in peace. When the fire burns low, they step outside. The sky is full of stars, endless and still. Claire looks up and feels the pull again, stronger now, as if the universe is whispering that it's time. She reaches for Jamie's hand. He doesn't ask where they're going, he already knows. Together, they walk toward the horizon, the stones faintly glowing in the distance. The wind hums with familiar magic, wrapping around them like a lullaby. As they reach the stones, Claire turns to Jamie. "If this is the end," she says softly, "then I'm not afraid." He smiles, that same tender smile that first stole her breath. "It's not the end, it's just another beginning." They step forward to figures bathed in light, surrounded by the sound of time unraveling. The screen fades to white. The hum of the stones fades into silence. Then, a heartbeat, a single echo of love, timeless, unbroken. The camera pans to the empty ridge at dawn. The fire long gone out, the house standing quiet against the hills. Their voices linger faintly in the wind, carried across centuries. You are my home, always. The story of Claire and Jamie Fraser ends not with goodbye, but with forever.